and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. And welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. And welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then. Don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run. So you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live around the world on Facebook, on twitch.tv, on Mixer and on YouTube. While we're getting everything set up, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Runs and Rides YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/FilmMyRun, on Twitter at FilmMyRun, and you can also go to the website, which is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, and watch me do all the hard work. Right, good morning everybody, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching in the world. We are live on the Zwift Live YouTube channel and the Film My Run Facebook page. I haven't shared it to the Zwift Runners Facebook page. We don't want to annoy them with so many posts with live running on, do we? So we'll just keep it between us this morning. Nice and tight circle of friends. I'm going to do... Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 500 metres of climbing like I have been doing recently most mornings. But also we are going to do... Let's see. Credit. We're going to do That's Amore because it's nice and short, and it's Watopia, which is the course that we're on. So it's about 6.4 kilometres for the whole badge. So that'll leave just 3 to do after that. And I know we're saving flat irons for a group run, aren't we? John's route is about 11 kilometres. Can't remember how far Hudson Roll is. 12 maybe? Or is it 14? Anyway, that's Amore is what we're doing today. Good morning to Jonathan. Hello, how are you? How can it be on the... I haven't shared it to the Zwift Runners Facebook page. How can it be on there? Morning, Vidar. Okay, well, if it is, that's good if it is on, but I haven't shared it to the Zwift Runners Facebook page. I don't know why it's there. Okay, bear with me. I've just got to sort out chat because it's on the wrong side of the screen. Hang on. Right, that's sorted. We've got a cup of coffee, which no doubt will go cold while I'm running. I've got my phone next to me, everything I need. Right, let's get moving. So now, hang on a minute, we've got 6.4 kilometres, so I'll do the first kilometre flat, or just, we'll do it at 2%, just for the sake of it. Let's get a move on. Right. So, as we always do, I'm just going to walk out the first few metres. Get the legs moving a bit, although I have just walked 2 kilometres, 3 kilometres all the way to the children's school and back, so my legs should be vaguely warm. B. Wayne. Is that Bruce Wayne, do you think? Isn't that Batman? Bruce Wayne, Batman, is on Zwift today. We had our... Jonathan, you see... I know what's going on my channel. We had a Zwift community leaders meeting last night with HQ in Los Angeles. Always good fun. And they have signed a new pro athlete, and they won't tell us who it is. So in the next few weeks, we're going to be doing some specific runs led by this new pro athlete who's been signed to Zwift. We don't know who it is. It's a woman because the next month, International Women's Day, they are doing a little push to get a few more women running on Zwift and promoting women's running. And so we will be doing some runs. The runs will not be women only, although it's promoting women's running and celebrating International Women's Day. It's not just for women, so men can join, but there is a new female pro athlete. I don't know if she's American, British, or where she's from, but a pro athlete, elite athlete, will be joining us for runs on Zwift in the near future. Other things to mention as we just get running, shall we? What else have we got to mention? Yeah, well, things you already know about, so that we've got the Cupid ZRS run series coming up soon, and the Zwift Run Festival. Well, no, Gwen Jorgensen has been on Zwift for quite a while, Jonathan, so no, it's not her, it's a new person. But yeah, no, Gwen's been on. I think this is specifically a runner, a pro runner, as opposed to a pro triathlete, although she has kind of transferred to running, hasn't she, Gwen? Jonathan Cost says he's doing the WOW session at 10:30. Okay, good stuff. Now, so what we'll do now is we'll run a kilometre on the flat, and then we'll do 4 kilometres of 12% elevation, and then we'll do a 1.5 kilometres on the flat to complete the That's Amore route badge. And I haven't got my camera angles on to make sure I stay on the correct path. Yes, Jonathan, I did read the Runner's World article. I kind of skimmed through it. Anything you take from the article particularly that interested you? If you haven't read it, if anybody's wondering what we're talking about, there's an article in Runner's World this week about Zwift. I think it's online. I'm not sure if it's in the actual magazine, the paper hard copy. It's definitely online. All about Zwift. Has got an interview with Mike McCarthy, and some words from Gwen Jorgensen as well. Now Gwen's done a few videos, and she's done some live videos using Zwift as well. So she's been on it quite a while. I get a notification every time she runs, and she's regularly on it. Much more than Mo Farah. Actually haven't seen Mo Farah on Zwift for a couple of weeks now. He goes through phases of running on Zwift, and then he won't. Especially if he goes abroad. If he's at home, he runs on Zwift quite regularly. If he's abroad, you don't see him at all. So we're on the Watopia course, for those that don't know. This is Zwift running, and we are completing an achievement badge this morning. So for every route that you do on well, not for everyone, but for most of the routes that you do on Zwift, all of the running routes, specific running routes, you can achieve a badge, an award for running that route. What, Gwen Jorgensen? Oh, maybe she's been doing cycling then, because she pops up very regularly on my phone. Okay, well, so maybe she hasn't run on Zwift for a while then, but she uses Zwift. Maybe she is doing triathlon then. I thought she'd transferred over to running only. Good morning, Jason. Hope you're well. So we're just completing a kilometre of warm-up, and then I'm going to get into elevation. Darren Smith is running. Let's give Darren a ride on. I think it's Darren Smith. I mean, there could be lots of D Smiths, of course, on there, and Jay Crawford as well. But let's give everyone a ride on that I can see, just for the sake of it, while we're here. Nice to go around giving some ride-ons to people. Right, 1 kilometre done, so let's raise the elevation right up and slow right down. Have another drink of coffee. Vidar is asking, is there the possibility that Zwift will be for paying members soon, like cycling? No, not yet. There's a lot of work to do yet on Zwift Running. Adam Holland says, don't drop your keyboard. And hello TV guy, Australia. I think D Smith passed you during your elevation session yesterday too. Must just be that time of the day what you both run at. I guess so, yeah. Yeah, right. Back to Jason. To Vidar. There's a lot of work to do on Zwift Running to get it right. It's still not right. There's a lot of bugs in distance and timing that need to be ironed out. They did release an update a few weeks ago, or last week, which doesn't seem to have done anything, although it did say that they were going to address that issue. But it's not sorted yet, so they can't make people pay for Zwift Running until it's a robust platform, until there are, the basic things are sorted. You can't have a running platform where distance and time are wrong on a lot of the races that we do. So they need to sort that out, and they will, but it will remain free until they've got sorted those things out. And I can't see them charging this year, so it will be free for the rest of the year, I'm almost certain. And maybe even longer than that. There are things that Mike McCarthy's trying to get sorted with Zwift Running, and we need a groundswell of people as well. There are lots of people doing the Zwift Tour de Zwift, and that's been really great. It's been a good kind of increase in numbers over the past month. Lots of people getting onto Zwift. Some of the races we've had over 100 people running. And when we did that run with Eric Min and Mo Farah, we had 500 people sign up for that. So, it's getting there, but it's not there yet. We haven't got the numbers of people yet to start charging. Because obviously, when you start charging, a number of people will drop away who won't want to pay. You've got to have enough people that even with the numbers that drop away, it's still worth it, and you can't do that with a platform that isn't ready yet, and it's not ready yet. Jason Darby says, first event run of the year might be cancelled due to the weather, so tuning in for some inspiration. What? So what event is going to be cancelled? We've got an absolutely beautiful day here. I should be outside, to be honest with you, because it's absolutely gorgeous out there today. It's cold, but beautiful, bright sunshine. Hello, camera 2. Okay, I suppose I should start running, shouldn't I? Let's get to... I'll do another 150 metres. Have another sip of coffee. And Jonathan Cost says, got to go warm up for wow. Okay, Jonathan, catch you later. And Andrew Cutmore says, morning, Stephen. Can you message other runners within Zwift? Yes. When you say message, you can message in game. So you just press M on the keyboard and you can type a message. So I'll show you that now. Hang on. So press M on the keyboard. Hi, Zwifty World. So hello, Zwifty World. And that will be seen by everyone in my vicinity. So everyone running there or cycling there will see that message. You can also use the Zwift Companion app. A Zwift Companion app will allow you to message groups of riders or runners or individuals. So you can click on somebody's name and then you can type them a personalised message that nobody else will see, and that will come up in orange on the screen. If you're the person who's receiving that message, it'll come up in orange on the screen. If you're not the person, then you won't see that message at all. They're still deciding, as part of the courses underwater, Wrexham Half Marathon. Okay, wow. Oh yeah, Storm Dennis. So in the UK here, we have been hit by Storm Kira last weekend. And we've got another storm coming in, which is called Storm Dennis. And that will come in this weekend. So Wrexham Half Marathon looks like it's going to be cancelled. Or it might be cancelled, depending.
Jack it up.
I mean, to be honest, I went out running on Sunday in the storm. It wasn't that. I mean, it was strong winds, but it wasn't that bad. Okay. So we are now climbing. Oh, hang on a minute. I haven't put my targets on. Hold on. That'll do. 6.2. It's 6.2-ish, isn't it? Okay, Vidar. Cyclists have been charged for a couple of years now. Two years they've been charged. And I mean, they're always adding new things to cycling. Well, they're always adding new things to Zwift. So some things will work and some things won't, but the basics work. But also, there was a groundswell of users, which meant that they had so many people using Zwift, it was sensible to make the decision to start charging people. Now, I've no doubt that if we had 500,000 runners on Zwift, they would implement a subscription policy straight away, even with the bugs. But given that we don't have that many runners on Zwift, there's a lot, but there's not enough yet to make it viable. Just making it a subscription now would drive a lot of those users away, and a lot of people would say, you can't charge us for a platform that isn't ready. Whereas cycling, you know, they've been charged for a couple of years now, so when there are bugs in the system, well, they're paying anyway, and you know, they're kind of just going to accept it as part of the game. Part of you know, technology sometimes going wrong. It's just not the right time yet for running to start charging. Jason says it looks lovely in the Midlands right now. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous out here as well. So we're doing 4 kilometres of elevation, and we're doing 6.4 kilometres in total, which will give us the That's Amore route badge. So there's my 12, if you can see it on the camera there. Difficult to make it out with the brightness of the sun on it, the reflections on it. But we are at 12% elevation. 12% elevation gives us 120 metres of climbing for every kilometre run. So 4 kilometres of climbing will mean 480 metres of ascent. So we just need to do another 20 metres of ascent to make it 500 metres. Although I've probably done 20 metres of ascent in the first kilometre, which although it was flat, I was at 2%. So 2% over 1 kilometre. What's that? That gives us 20 metres, doesn't it? I can't see any ride-ons dropping, so sometimes we get this little bug where even though somebody's giving you a ride-on, you don't see it. So if you are giving me a ride-on, thank you very much, but I can't see them dropping at the moment. Heart rate is fairly high, 164, look. So I think this is because I'm talking a lot. So maybe I should just shut my mouth and get running for a bit. And maybe my heart rate might come down. Normally, we like to keep the heart rate on these runs. We like to keep the heart rate in zone 3, yellow zone. But we're definitely in zone 4. Coming up to 2 kilometres total and 1 kilometre of climbing. So 3 kilometres of climbing to go, 4 and a bit before we get the That's Amore achievement badge. So let's pop it up to 6 kilometres an hour now. So still not enough to get the avatar running. But we're taking it nice and easy. Hopefully bring the heart rate down if I just try and be quiet for a minute. There we go, look. Maybe it was a dodgy reading. Slightly dodgy reading from the wrist-based optical heart rate monitor. So 146 BPM is a lot more like how I feel. So I didn't actually feel like I was running at 164 BPM. 146 feels a lot more like it. So maybe it was just a slightly dodgy reading from my heart rate monitor. So talking about paying for Zwift, you don't have to pay for running. It's all free. Go and have a look at the Zwift.com website, zwift.com/run. Sign up. It's all free. And you get to run on Zwift. You get to run in this environment without paying a penny. Peter Denny, good morning to you. How's it going with you? I'm just doing the That's Amore achievement badge, and we're doing 12% elevation climbing for the middle 4 kilometres. So That's Amore is 6.4 kilometres. So we've got just about 4 kilometres left of that, and we're doing 4 kilometres of climbing in the middle. So we're now getting up to 1.5 kilometres of climbing so far. Oh, well done. What did you do this morning, Peter? Or today? So heart rate right down now to 132. So taking it very easy. Feels okay though, feel good. You know, I don't think that's a wrong reading. I think that's correct. Seems okay. Darren, good morning. Andrew Cutmore says, there are a couple of runners that I would like to message about running together. I've tried using the request meetup, but it gets messy when they're not available. Not sure this makes sense. So, in order to do a meetup, Andrew, you both need to be friends with each other. So, you can friend request the person, or you don't have to request their friend unless they're private, unless their profile is private. If their profile is not private, you can just make them a friend. Then you could send them a message. You can either message them when they're running, or you could leave a comment in one of their previous runs. And they should get a notification to say somebody's left a comment on one of your runs. So that's one way to do it. The other way, of course, is to try and message them via Facebook. If they are, have a look and see if they're members of the Zwift Runners Facebook page. If they are, you could message them via the Facebook page. So that there are a number of possible ways you could get in touch with people. And then you could ask them to friend you on Zwift. And once you're both friends, then you can invite them to a meetup. Darren, I am doing fine. Heart rate is nice and low. We're going nice and slowly. I'm doing my usual 500 meters of climbing over 4 kilometers, but we're also doing the That's Amore badge, which is 6.4 kilometers. So we'll get that done as well today. Vidar says, I think it's impressive that you 2 to 3 times a day are training. Well, maybe twice. That's certainly not 3 times a day. But morning and afternoon, or morning and evening, usually I'll do a run. But I am in training at the moment for a race, so that's why. This is more than I would normally do. I am training for Trans Gran Canaria in the first week of March. I had quite a few DNFs last year. Four DNFs. Partly injury, partly not trained enough. So I'm determined that I may not be fast, but I'll get to the end of Trans Gran Canaria. I really want to. I don't want another DNF. So that's why I'm putting in some hours, some elevation, some miles over the last few weeks. Nice one, Peter. So Peter did 5k at 6% elevation at 8 kilometers an hour, slowly building up the strength. Well done, Peter. Good job. Darren's going to be Zwifting in an hour's time, so if you want to watch Darren's stream, Darren Van Dit, I'm sure he'll post it to Zwift Runners Facebook page. So if you want to watch Darren is a fast runner. So not like me going dead slow here. Look, my avatar is still walking, I'm going that slow. If you want to see somebody going speedy fast, then go and watch Darren Van Dit's stream later on, 1 hour's time. How long to go before Trans Gran Canaria? The race is on. I think we start at 11 p.m. on the 6th of March. So it's going to take me more than 24 hours. So I should finish sometime in the morning of March the 8th. So the majority of the run will be on March the 7th. So should cover 3 days of running. But hopefully I'll finish early in the morning on the 8th of March. But you just never know what's going to happen in races like this. You know, it's 7,500 meters of ascent. That's 23,000 feet, 24,000 feet of ascent. So it's a big lot of climbing. 128 kilometers is not insignificant distance. It is going to take me well over 24 hours to do it. I did Tenerife Blue Trail in 22 hours, so that's 100 kilometers and 6,000 meters of ascent. So we've got to add another 28 kilometers and another 1,500 meters of climbing. So I would say that's at least another eight hours of running on top of that. So we're looking at 30 hours, 28 to 30 hours, I would have thought. Well, Vidar says he's only been running once a week in general, but since he's found the Film My Run channel and Zwift, he's wanted to run 2 to 3 times a week. That's great. 2 to 3 times a week will really get your fitness up, Vidar. Sometimes that's what I run 2 to 3 times a week. If I'm not in training for a race, if I'm having a relaxing week, 2 to 3 times a week, you know, that's what I do. Yes, Jason, I totally agree. So Jason says, oh, hang on a minute, I should be up faster. In fact, all right, let's get the avatar running. Let's go to that. 6.8, there we go. That'll make you feel better, Jason. So Jason says, it's a shame you can't set jogging pace. Don't like seeing the walking animation when jogging. Yes, I agree. I think there should be a way that Zwift can recognise that you are going uphill. I mean, this treadmill is sending incline data to Zwift. Zwift should be able to recognise that and say, right, well, he must be running because he's running uphill, and therefore make the avatar run. They should be able to do that. Thanks, Darren. Darren just wishing me all the best for the race in March. I'm not going to win, Darren, but you know, just to finish a race like that is such a good feeling. So once again, just to say, if you are dropping me a ride on, I'm not seeing them on screen. And that is a bug that sometimes occurs. Sometimes you don't see ride-ons. I'm assuming I'm getting ride-ons, because usually I do. I mean, maybe nobody's giving me one at all. It's so easy to get set up for Zwift running. All you need are a few things. Firstly, access to a treadmill. Either at home or at the gym, it doesn't matter what kind of treadmill you use, any treadmill will work with Zwift. Next, you need a foot pod, preferably a Bluetooth foot pod, and the most popular ones to use at the moment are the Zwift Pod or the Stride. Then simply download the Zwift app onto any of these devices. So, a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android phone, Zwift even works on Apple TV. Pair your foot pod in the app, possibly add a heart rate monitor if you like, and that's it. You're all set up for Zwift running. So Andrew Cutmore says he has given me a ride on. So let's press the button.
Ride on!
Thanks, Andrew. So apologies to everyone who has given me a ride on and I haven't seen it. Thank you. And Vidar's just checked. I have 26 ride-ons. So thank you to all 26 of you. And Chris has given me a ride on as well. Chris Nolan, thank you.
Ride on!
And Peter Denny has noticed the same thing. So he says, no ride-ons seen during the run, but got 32 during it. So yeah, there you go. Right, 3.5 kilometres, 3.5 kilometres done. That's 2.5 kilometres of elevation at 12%. So I'll explain it again. 12% elevation means that over the course of 1 kilometre, we should run 120 metres of gain. So over the course of 4 kilometres, that'll be 480 metres climbed. I want to get to 500. So when I set off at the beginning of the run, I set 2 kilometres, I set 2% incline on the treadmill. So that should get me the extra 20. Darren Van Dit, thanks for the ride on.
Ride on!
And Andrew Cutmore says he gave Peter a ride on. There was some post recently saying, what is the point of ride-ons other than just motivation? You know, do you get extra XP points for them or whatever? And the answer is no, but you do get achievement badges. So if you look on the badges section, you can get an achievement award for so many ride-ons received, and also a couple of different achievement awards for so many ride-ons given. Or maybe it's the other way around. Anyway, there are definitely badges available for giving and receiving ride-ons. So working a bit harder now, but still in zone 3, so that's good. Those 2 minutes that you can see up there in zone 4, I think that was a dodgy heart rate reading. So I don't feel like I've been in zone 4 yet. But if we pump up the pace, I might find that I get into zone 4 by the end of the climbing. Don't forget, subscribe to the Zwift Live channel if you haven't already. Thank you. Much appreciated. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on Zwift Live just so I can earn some money from advertising on Zwift on YouTube. So when we get to 4 kilometres run in about 150 metres, I'll bump it up to 7 kilometres per hour, and then for the last kilometre we'll go at 7.5, and then we'll drop it back down to flat for the last 1.5 kilometres or so to get the That's Amore badge. Darren says, it's a good question. Darren says, what is something you aspire to see on Zwift someday? Well, like cycling, I'd love to see virtual running in the Olympics. So if we can get it right, we get the verification of athletes correct. Oh, by the way, JWB, look. JWB, anybody know what that stands for? You get a prize. I'll send you, here you go. I'll send you a Ticker X heart rate monitor. First person to tell me on text. I'll send you a Ticker X heart rate monitor if you tell me what that JWB stands for. 4 kilometres done. I want to see verification of athletes so that we're all racing on a level platform. We know that there's no cheating going on, and we get proper races on Zwift that are as valued as races in the real world. So maybe proper prize money, inclusion on databases of races, and so things like that. So running on the treadmill actually counts in real life. That's what I'd like to see. Zwift at the Olympics. Zwift running, virtual running as a sport in the Olympics. Give it 5 to 10 years. Maybe in 2 Olympics time, eh? Right, we're up at 7 now, so 4 kilometres done. 2 kilometres. Hang on a minute, where are we? Oh yeah, no, so we're on the last kilometre of climb now, aren't we? So I've done 3 kilometres. Okay. Yeah. So this is the last kilometre now of climbing. So I'll bump it up to 7.5 when we get halfway. So in 300 metres, I'll put it at 7.5. So no answer to the bridge question yet then. By the way, the Ticker X heart rate monitor has been used once. It's only been used once at the National Running Show a couple of weeks ago. It was the one I used, and I was just told to keep it, so I can give it away. Darren Bandit gets the Ticker. Did you need a Ticker X heart rate monitor, Darren? If you don't, let's give it to somebody else. If you want it, I'll give it to you. Yeah, so the bridge that we crossed there with JWB written on it is named after Julian Washington. And she is one of the very first Zwift cyclists, and she used to be a real regular and a massive part of the Zwift community. Oh, that's very good of you, Darren. So Darren doesn't need the Ticker X heart rate monitor, so first person to ask for it gets it, and if not, we'll run it over to tonight. So when we get to 4.5, I'll bump it up again. Right, last 500 metres of climbing. We're still at 12% elevation. So by the end of this climb, we should be at 500 metres of climb, and you'll be able to see that on my Strava at the end of the run. But when we finish the climbing, we need to do another 1.5 kilometres to get the That's Amore route badge. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, Darren. ...400 metres left. Okay, Andrew Cutmore gets the Ticker X heart rate monitor. I think I've got your address already, haven't I? Because you got the Zwift pod as well, didn't you? See, it's only random. Every so often I've got a prize to give away. You have to be regular on this channel to get a prize from me. Okay, working hard now. 153, 154 heart rate. Still only in zone 3, but legs are working. Getting tired towards the end of this climb now. It's only got a little bit of my sweat on it, Andrew. Only one session. 200 metres of climbing left. Metres left. So we're still trying to stay relaxed. Trying to look good. If you can look good while you're running, it probably means your form is good. And if your form is good, you'll be conserving energy, using it efficiently in the places it's needed. There we are, we're all done. 5 kilometers completed. 500 meters of elevation completed. Let's just do 100 more meters to make sure. Yes, Darren, you've got to come over to the UK one time to do a race and we'll all meet up. I know that Ryan Downey's coming from America in the summer. So heart rate 157, nearly 158 there. There we go. Let's bring it down now. So elevation coming down. It's going to feel like we're running downhill now for this last kilometre and a bit. So about 7 minutes of running left. 6 minutes or so. Matt Bates, good morning to you, buddy. Hope you're well. So we're just coming to the end. We've got 1 kilometre left to do, and then we'll get the Zwift That's Amore route badge. Might be just over 1 kilometre and a bit. I think it's 6.4 kilometres the route in total. But we sometimes have to go a little bit further than that to get the badge. So if you are going to do a route and try and get the badge, don't just stop. When it says if the route is 6.4 kilometres, don't just stop at 6.4 kilometres and assume you've got the badge. You need to see it flash up in front of you. So you sometimes have to go a little bit further. Thanks for your comments today, everybody, by the way. Really enjoyable chat this morning. Just to go back on things, we had one of our regular meetings last night with Zwift HQ, so a community team leaders meeting, and so we're confirming that we've got the Zwift race series, Valentine's Cupid race series coming up. We've also got the Zwift Watopia Run Festival coming up, and then after that in March we have the Tour of Watopia. So much like the Tour of Zwift, but the Tour of Watopia. So that's back on. And then Zwift have also signed a pro athlete, a female pro athlete. Not Gwen Jorgensen, she's been on Zwift for a while, although apparently she hasn't run for a while, nor has Mo Farah. But Zwift have signed another pro athlete. They won't tell us who it is yet, but it's a woman, and we'll be celebrating International Women's Day with a little bit of a drive to get more women running on Zwift, with some races dedicated to women's running, although they won't be just for women, so men will be allowed to join as well. But those runs will be led, some of them will be led by this new sign up to Zwift, this new pro elite athlete. Oh, cheers, Matt. And Vidar, thank you. Like I say, I've not been getting ride-ons. Little bug in the system means that I haven't been seeing ride-ons, but I know some of you have been dropping ride-ons, so thank you very much. Darren says the reason that Mo Farah hasn't been on, when he's at home he runs on Zwift very regularly, but at the moment Darren says Mo Farah is in Kenya preparing for the Olympics, so he won't have access to Zwift over in Kenya. And let's be honest, if you can run around the valleys of Kenya, then you're not going to be indoors on a treadmill, are you? Let's face it. Let's be brutally honest with ourselves. So we're nearly done. Let's just speed it up a little bit. Nice, comfortable pace at the end of the run. We've done the 500 metres of climbing. We now just want to get that badge. So over on the right hand side you can see the corrals. Look, those white shining things between the trees. That's where we start some of our races. Oh, you can't see at the moment because we've got the treadmill view on. So there's 6 kilometres. And we need to do about 6.5 probably. Darren, yeah, the Achilles has really eased off in the past week. So although I can still feel it a tiny little bit, it's much, much better than it was. So much better. So yeah, really eased up, thank you. Vidar, no, I'm not running stage 3 tonight. I only have stage 5 to do, so I'm going to do stage 5 tomorrow. I think I've signed up for it at 9:20 tomorrow morning. So 9:20 tomorrow morning, I'll be live. I'll be doing stage 5 Tour de Zwift. Matt says, I played football for Everton last night for the disability team in the awful wind, but worked so hard and played well. Well done, Matt. Brilliant. So that's 6.2 kilometres. That's what I programmed in. So technically that's the end of my run, but let's get this badge. Yeah, absolutely. Darren says, yeah, he did tell me I could run on it and it'd be all right. So the next percent shoes, which is what I think caused the injury, I've learned a bit more about them now. So when I run, if I do a 5 kilometre race and I want to go really fast, I will try them again, but I'm going to try running a more mid-foot gait, and I've been analysing my gait, and actually I can run mid-foot if I want to without too much problem. So I will try the next percent again, and I will try to run with the gait that is advised for those kind of shoes. So heel striking is not really advisable in the next percents. Much more likely to cause injury, which is what I think happened. So here we come up to 4.5 kilometres, 6.5 kilometres. Still no badge. So we just keep running, unless I've missed it. Did I miss it, anyone? I don't think I did I? So let's just keep running and see if we get the badge. There we go. Route complete, that's Amore is done. Right, we may as well go to 7 kilometres, hadn't we? There's no point in stopping now. Let's get to 7 kilometres and then we're done. So check out Matthew's post there, doing running for his Knowsley Harriers club tomorrow. Lots of sprint efforts by my mum and dad's in Woolton, and tonight I'm doing circuit training. Good stuff, Matt. Good work. Keep it up. Maybe I come up to Liverpool fairly regularly, 2 or 3 times a year. So maybe we could run together one day. That'd be awesome. I would love to come up and do the rock and roll marathon or the rock and roll half once. So just after we get out the tunnel, there's the 7 kilometre marker, 200 odd metres to go, and we'll call it a day there. Thank you very much, everybody, for your talk, your chat. Go and watch Darren's stream in a few minutes' time. Darren will be going significantly faster than me on his live stream shortly. And there we are, 7 kilometres done. And that is it. Thanks, Vidar. Vidar says well done today. Matt, it'd be good to see you one day. Darren, enjoy your run later on. Thanks very much, everybody, for all your comments. Well done to Andrew Cutmore, who won the Ticket X heart rate monitor, even though he didn't answer the question. How's that work? Well done, Darren, for answering the question correctly. And then good on you for giving the heart rate monitor away. So Andrew Cutmore wins a Wahoo Ticket X heart rate monitor. And I'll get that off to you in the post at some point. Darren says, guess what my session is. You're doing a 1,000-meter climb up the Alpe d'Huez. You're doing a 1,000-meter climb up the Alpe d'Huez at 16 kilometers per hour. I've no idea what your session is. Are you doing Yasu 800s? Or, I don't know. You'll have to tell us. Tell us what you're doing, Darren. Stefan Wucher says, good morning from Paris. Thank you for all your ride-ons. I know I haven't been seeing them. Let's go and give a few more people some ride-ons. While we're waiting for Darren to tell us what his session is. Right, HS from Japan. Pulaka from, I don't know what that flag is. Jersey? No. Oh, it's Finland. Sorry, look, red, blue. Mir from Germany, Nelson from Canada, well done to you. Anatoni from the US, and Hasty from the US. McClavore from Canada, and D Story going for it at 4 kilometers per hour, 4 minutes per kilometer. Bashforth from the US, from the UK. Bokuk from the US. Anderson from Denmark, well done to you. Lee from South Korea. PB from the USA, and JH from the USA as well. That'll do, that's everybody. 7 kilometers done, 4 kilometers of climbing, which is 500 meters elevation gain. That is another session done towards my Transvolcania race in Gran Canaria at the beginning of March. So on the 6th of March at 11 p.m, I will be setting off on a 128 kilometer race across from one coast to the other of Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands. It's 128 kilometers, it's 7,500 meters, which is about 24,000 feet of ascent. So it's going to be a tough race. I expect it'll take me about 30 hours to do. So that's that. We will see you this afternoon. So we've got Mike McCarthy's Wednesday workout this afternoon. So for the past 2 or 3 weeks, we've been doing Wednesday workout earlier at 4:30 p.m. UK time, because Mike McCarthy, who's the head of Zwift Running, he is the boss. We have been doing a session with him on a Wednesday afternoon. It's handy for me because I take the kids to swimming on a Wednesday night. And if I do the later Wednesday workout, it makes it impossible for me to do that, so I don't get to see them swim. Darren is doing 2% incline session, so he will be running at 2% incline for his run today. That is me done. Again, thank you so much for the comments and the chat. It's always great to have banter with you guys on the Facebook and YouTube chat. Sorry that I haven't been seeing any ride-ons, but thank you again.
Ride on!
Thank you everyone for your ride-ons, and we'll see you at 4:30 UK time this afternoon for Wednesday workout with Mike McCarthy. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.